Hello from Studio C70 at the Committee of 70. Got a big election coming up next month. May 21 is primary day. Huge election. Judicial offices on the ballot, city office on the ballot, mayor, city council, but also a number of row offices, sheriff, register of wills, and city commissioner. Big election for the city of Philadelphia. Elections are like job interviews. The candidates are like the job applicants, voters like the hiring committee. We do have one of the job applicants with us this afternoon, one of the job applicants for city commissioner, Carla Cain.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank
Glad
you.
you're here.
Thank you. I'm glad you're having a program like this.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's an office that not enough Pennsylvania or Philadelphians know about. So why don't we start with this? You're running for city commissioner. How do you see that job and why you're running for it?
I believe the city commissioner position is one of the most important positions. It's the beginning part of democracy. How can you not want to encourage people to vote? People died for the institution of voting. That is the most important. And one aspect I think they don't want anyone to know, meaning the parties to be, because they don't want to encourage the institution and know the importance of voting. We have to encourage all specters of life that's eligible to vote, that's 18 to 108. My father's 94. He never missed a voting. Never. You know, I want to encourage people to vote. And I believe that if we had more people and we practice the institution of vote, just like we have Welcome America come here, oh, it's all kinds of little crusades and the city shut down. That's how I should be on voting. That's how I should be on voting. And the city commissioner is an office that not too many people know about. And I believe it's by design. You know, it's by design. If elected as being a commissioner, you won't just see me in City Hall. It's 66 wards. I promised I would visit all the wards. And each neighborhood has a recreation center. I will attend every recreation center that's open. We need to get out of City Hall and go to the voters.
Yeah. So, you know, I know the elections are not a new thing for you, and then you're also an experienced committee person.
Yes.
You know, can you talk a little bit about your background professionally, civically, in community, and how that will translate into you being a city commissioner?
Okay, this is my second term on being a city committee, and my first term on being state committee. Okay. I got my undergraduate degree at Cheney. I got in political science. I got my master's degree at Strayer, and now I'm working on my PhD in government. Okay, I've always been civically involved back with my family, with my dad. He's been active in the community. And I noticed that at the elections, people would come to me and say, Carla, what are we voting for? I said, oh my God. So I started inviting people to my house and teaching them about the 3 branches of government, county, state, and local. I got 2,400 people, new registered people to vote, you know, registered to vote. So I knew that there was a call and a need for it. And at the level that I am as a committee person, state committee, I don't have power for influence, meaning legal influences. You know, I want to turn voting not into a one-day process. It should be at least a 2-day process. Okay. I want an open primary. I don't believe in discouraging anyone. I don't think if you're an independent or Republican or whatever, or Democrat, everyone should have the opportunity to vote. To vote. A lot of people put their lives online for this democracy. And I believe in voting. I just believe in voting. And I think everyone should have the opportunity.
So you just mentioned a couple possible reforms there that you know they would have to be accomplished at the state level, perhaps extending the amount of time for voting, or allowing independent voters to participate in the primaries, right? Open primaries. Of the issues that the city commissioners have to oversee, I mean, one of them is election integrity and election security. You know, that we have had a controversial kind of process play out around the purchase of new voting machines. You know, can you speak to like what would you do to make sure that in fact our elections are secure here in Philadelphia, and how would you guarantee to the voters that's the case?
First of all, we need to hire people with integrity in the commissioner's office, and we also need to make sure the staff is adequately trained. They need formal training. They don't need Flintstone training. They need the 21st century training, and we have to encourage that. For example, if they're submitted, say 2,000 new applications for registration, tell me why they only send out 100 actual new cards. Something is wrong with that process. Someone needs accountability. There needs to be a check and balance. I believe if there's a check and balance in the process, it will be extremely difficult, not impossible, but extremely difficult to have these mishaps.
So I'm not certain exactly what the number would be for, like, registration applications put in and the number processed and they're put out. But how would you guarantee that we can see how well things are going or not going in that office? How would you guarantee that level of transparency?
We need a transparency. Like I said, we need checks and balance. And I think every office should have a goal. If we worked at McDonald's, and I was a franchise owner, it was my responsibility to the ownership that I have to have a certain dollar amount. We should have in the same thing in the commissioner's office, that we should have a certain amount of new registered people that we addressed.
And you mentioned training just now, so I assume you're referring both to the staff at the larger voter registration office in Delaware and Spring Garden. Are you referring to poll workers as well? We have thousands and thousands of poll workers across the city.
I'm speaking the whole perimeter, across the border, from A to Z. Because if you think about it, we all should work collectively. And so when one has a mishap, if it trickles down, it trickles down. It's like a snowball effect. So I think that everyone needs new training.
How would you envision that training? I mean, you mentioned the 21st century type training. Like, what does that look like?
21st century training. If elected, when I'm elected, what I would do for all poll watching certificates, I would also continue on bringing them down to Delaware Avenue and have a hands-on training. But they will also have an app that they can go to look and follow and get constant reminders and update. So anything that they didn't understand at that meeting, at that training, they can go back to the app and be self-taught. You know what I mean? And in the 21st century, we have to take advantage of social media, and we have to take advantage of technology.
So, for the folks at home that may not be intimately familiar with the city commissioner's office, there are 3 city commissioners who serve together on the county board of elections, and it's supposed to be it is a bipartisan body.
Yes,
it's required by state law. Could you speak to a little bit how you would see working with your colleagues, presumably a Democratic colleague and a Republican colleague on the county board of elections?
Okay, I wanted to add this a little bit. A lot of individuals don't know the reason why there's 3, because they base it on the population of voting, meaning here in Philadelphia, there's a little over 900,000 registered voters. And I think about 87.5% is registered Democrat. So they're the majority. So the city rules said it'd be 2 majority and 1 minority. So if one day, if it flipped and we all become Republicans, it will be 2 Republicans and 1 Democrat. That's why you always have 2 Democrats. Well, you don't always. It's based on registration, people registration, their party. So I want them to be clear about that. A lot of individuals don't know that. Now, to work with, once I become a commissioner, I'm no longer, I hold a Democratic logo. I am a Democrat, but I'm for everyone, every individual that's qualified to vote. Well, whether you're a Republican, independent, or whatever, you should be able to come to my office and serve. And I believe that partisanship, when it comes down to a body, it has nothing to do with partisan. It has something to do with the Philadelphia residents, the voter, what's best for them.
Let me also bring this up. So, like, here at C70, we talk a lot about the voting experience. Is it smooth? Is it enjoyable? Given what you know from yourself as a voter, but also the other people you know and have come across in Philadelphia. What should change, if anything, about that experience? I mean, this could be, again, a change in the amount of time that's available to actually go to the polls. It could be customer service preparation for poll workers. Like, what should that experience be like?
The experience should make you want to come and vote. It shouldn't be. It should also be a pleasure, an honor to come and vote. It shouldn't be like, oh man, I gotta go and do this. We need to get more up-to-date facilities. I have heard, like, one polling location, a woman said, it's so dark in there, I can't see. Why can't we change the pattern and where we have places that are more cleaner and accessible, things like that? That's, for example, we need to have longer days? Why do it have to be a 2-day? I mean, a 1-day. Can we expand to a 2-day? Maybe a Sunday or Monday, have a weekend for people who work. Like, for example, my brother worked 12-hour shifts. And if he working on that Saturday, on that Tuesday, if he fall on, he cannot come.
Yeah.
He can, but another thing I think, believe, we need to, over right across the bridge in Jersey, they have mail-in votes. We need to take advantage of all of the tools that we have out here now to ensure the institution of voting. We need to encourage young people to vote. I don't believe in talking at a person. I believe in talking with them.
And if if you're going to be doing voter information and engagement work or programming around the city, like how would you implement that? Would you do that on your own out of your office, or working with the other two commissioners or with the staff?
Well, no, like I said, I'm holistic. I believe in working with everyone, and I also believe in, for example, if what I'm doing and what I want to do, meaning extending voting time, I have to work with our state legislator. I have to work with that because it's a state law. So I have to let whoever our state representative know we have to encourage this and push this through Harrisburg. And I have to show an incredible effort that I'm doing it. And I have to let the people, the voters, know that this is what I want you to do, and this is how we need to go approach this, approach a 2-day voting process. But I believe that we all need to, in this melting pot, everyone needs to be included and tell the voter how important it is to vote and why voting is important. It's not a one thing operation. It's a body of 3 that has to work together.
And so these 3 offices, they are independently elected and apart from the rest of city government in most respects. What do you think are the greatest opportunities for collaboration between the office of the city commissioners and the rest of city government? I mean, the executive branch in particular, the mayor oversees.
You would hope that they want to increase the voter turnout. We're a city that is predominantly registered Democrat. We lost the election to and of course I'm gonna be partisan because I'm a Democrat. We lost it to a Republican, and Trump won the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And what can we do to ensure the voters that their votes is, first of all, is counted, and that we're going to turn it back and we're going to become a democratic state.
And how would if not only the commissioners but the rest of the city government were getting involved in voter turnout programming, how would we guarantee that it's a nonpartisan program that the government's engaging in to take vote turnout upwards?
Voter, when you go and you solicit, and when you go and solicit and you ask people, are you a registered voter? I don't come to them as I'm Carla Cain, the Democrat. I come to them as I'm a volunteer. I'm on committee, and we need you to, if you're not registered, or even if you are registered, and change your address. My party affiliation is when you're doing outreach, there's no party affiliation. It's outreach, it's civic engagement. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. So we're already towards the end of our time already.
Okay.
So let me throw one more big question at you. What it's a 4-year term. You just become elected city commissioner and taken office. What's that one big thing that you'd want to accomplish in that first 4 years?
First thing, number one thing, I want to increase voter turnout. I want to increase voter turnout, and that age group, that 18 to 35, we got to do research and got to encourage them to vote, because that's our future. That's our future.
And how would you engage with the young people?
I would go directly to them.
Okay.
I would go directly.
Presumably in their schools.
Schools, clubs. I would go to the clubs too. Yeah, I wouldn't discriminate.
Yeah, and how would you? And what's the compelling message for those young people to turn out?
That they are our future. They are our future. There's no way of getting around it. You cannot exclude the future. When life is given, that's a blessing from God, and I'm so proud of it. I'm the youngest of 11. So when you see the opportunity for young people to take us to a next generation, we got to encourage them. It's my responsibility.
We'll leave it there. Carla Cain, running for city commissioner. Thank you for coming on.
Yes, vote 41 and you're done.
Right.
Thank you.
So next month is election day. Again, May 21st, huge primary election for the city of Philadelphia. Again, a ton of offices and candidates on the ballot, including Carla Cain, running for city commissioner. Use 70's nonpartisan voter guide at ballot.70.org. to comb through the candidates and make your choices before polls open. You can also download our nonpartisan We Vote app, wherever you download your apps at home. Has all the resources you could possibly need to be ready for Election Day. Thank you finally to Tom, Scott, and Harrison for funding these broadcasts. See ya. All righty. Yeah. Good